Since 1985, we have empowered students to live the life they want. The Louisiana Center for the Blind presents Alumni Reflections.
I grew up blind, but I never considered myself blind. I was treated like everyone else, except for the fact that I couldn't see. And because of lack of resources and lack of knowledge about different resources for blind people, I didn't have exposure to blind people. My idea of a blind person was seeing a person on the side of the street holding a cup, asking for change, or someone who just sat in a rocking chair on their porch and that's all they did for their life. I went to college, and college was going okay, and then I had a drastic, I lost a substantial amount of vision, and from there I had to withdraw from school my senior year of college, and that was pretty tough. I linked up with a couple of people, one person in particular who was a former student, a current student at the time that I met him, and he told me, hey, you should check this center out. I'm a student here, you know, I'm into like my 8th or 9th month, getting ready to graduate. You gotta go here, it'll change your life. And I'm like, okay, you know, what are my other options? This was like in April 2000, I don't know, I guess 2009. And so I'm like, well, what do I have to lose? So I went home and talked it over with my parents, and I was like, well, I'm not in school right now. What's the worst that can happen? And by October 2009, I was at LCB, had never done a lot of research about the place, never went online and gotten information, barely talked about it with my rehabilitation counselor. I was just like, I don't have a lot of options. Let's just see what they have to offer. And that's how it happened. Probably like the first week I was in training. I remember it was, I started like maybe October 14th, 15th, and it was during Meet the Blind Month. And this is a girl who never had any cane travel experience, never had any O&M training, and we are all loaded on a bus and we head on down to Monroe, Louisiana, to Pecanland Mall to give out brochures and kind of educate the public about blindness. And all I know is I'm in this mall with this cane, with my instructor, and she's kind of, you know, guiding me through, not really guiding me through, but, you know, letting me know, you know, this is how, you know, you use your cane, and we're going to listen and, you know, feel the texture changes and the different smells and the sounds. And oh, it was so overwhelming. And that day was one of the hardest days. And I'm just like, this is my first week and they already got me in this mall, and I don't know what to do with this cane. But by the end of the day, I really felt good about that whole situation. One being, I know in the past, growing up, like going shopping, for instance, in a mall with my mom or my sister, they would do a lot of the, you know, guiding me around and figuring out like, oh, you know, here, this will look good on you. I was never in control, never an active participant in that. But, you know, that first mall trip, even though it was strictly for Meet the Blind Month, you know, I was introduced to techniques for shopping non-visually as a blind person. And that was like a big deal for me. And after that day, I just felt so empowered. I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. And after that day, I just kind of hit the ground running. It was just like, I'm going to be fearless, because, you know, if this is what I have to look forward to, I just got to give it all I got. I knew that eventually, once training was complete, you know, I wanted to go and finish school and obtain my degree and things of that nature. But getting out of, you know, Weston and leaving all of my friends and a place that I had become so familiar with was extremely hard, extremely difficult. And preparation before, you know, graduation was, you know, looking at different opportunities for internships and trying to get things together for school, such as financial aid, and, you know, getting my schedule together. And from a personal perspective, I kind of procrastinated because I was like afraid to go back home because I had gotten so comfortable and so confident there. But all of my instructors pushed me, and they saw so much potential in me, and they were like, you're gonna go back and give Georgia your very best. That's what you're going to do. You have gotten as much as you can get from us. So now you have to go out and be an ambassador for us and educate people in Georgia about blindness. And that's what I did. And so I went back home and enrolled back in school. I ended up switching majors. I was a mass media major before I went to training, and I did a little shifting, and I went into the communications field. So I got my degree 2 years later, and I looked for work for maybe about 6 months, and I just kind of, I ended up working a summer program at a structured discovery center in Maryland, Blind Industries and Services of Maryland, just as a summer counselor. And I guess I did such a great job, they ended up, asking me to work as, do some contract work for a new program they were starting called their college prep program, where I would work with college students and help them transition from training to college. And I was like, sure. And that ended up turning into a full-time position where I work with students for college prep, and I'm also the full-time assistive technology instructor. And in addition to that, I also started going for my National Orientation and Mobility Certification so that I could teach travel to students. So it's been a wild ride. I've gotten to do so much and been introduced to so many people thanks to LCB. But I think the ultimate point of it all is that, in the scheme of things, I get to give back what the center gave to me. They gave me skills, and in return, I get to give that to my students every day.
Thank you for watching. For more information on how you can live the life you want, visit our website at www.louisianacenter.org or call us at 1-800-234-4166.